Margaret, you are such a failure. You'll never improve. You don't matter. You don't belong here. God isn't real. If He is, He doesn't love you. You are such an embarrassment. That's why your husband left you. You won't make it. You're going to die young. You will never succeed. You can't handle what's coming. You're not good enough. You always mess things up. You're such a failure.
Whew. The mind is a battlefield. I gotta get my mind together. I can't keep going through this. Hey y'all! It's your girl Mama. You already know I'm about to come to you with a new video. I'm still trying to figure out an intro for this YouTube channel, but still haven't came to me. But anywho, how are you? I hope you are feeling blessed because you are blessed and highly favored. As you can see, this is my third video. Ding, 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 ding. Consistency is key. Today, I'm going to do a story time. I love stories. I love telling stories. So I'm going to do a story time about when I was in my darkest moment mentally. In 2027, at that time I had two kids, had my daughter and my son. And I just recently got a relationship with their dad. And he went his way, I went my way. And what happened was the very next day after we broke up, I end up getting on the phone with my homegirl, who's now one of my best friends. And I was like, girl, I am so over that last relationship. I'm ready to get out there and just give my love away. I got so much love to give. Yes, I do. I have so much love. She was like, girl, you just got out of a relationship. I said, yes, but girl, that relationship been dead, been died. I'm just ready to live now. You understand? She was like, if you say I think she called me at the time Margianos. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to live. I'm ready to live, girl. And so she was like, so what you about to do? I said, I'm gonna go online. I heard of Plenty of Fish and all these other websites, but they free. And I said, I don't think people will be intentional if they not spending money. So I heard of blockpeoplemeet.com. Don't judge me, y'all. We in this together, right? Marfam. So I was like, blockpeoplemeet.com. It's $19 a month. And I don't think somebody's son will be in a situation like want to put $20 out there to go look for love if they can get it for free. You know what I mean? She said, whatever you say, Margianos. I said, you gonna do it too? She was like, no, I don't want to do it. I said, please, please, please. So we end up doing it together. I think like within like 2 days, I met this guy, and I was like, oh girl, we talked on the phone, and I thought I was so in love. I was like, oh my God, I love him. She said, you just met him. I said, I know, but this is love. Don't judge me. I love him. So we end up meeting up and went out. We went out a couple times, and he was older than me, and he tried to impress me with his money because I didn't have any money. So I'm be honest, I was impressed. And he was showing me how to get my credit together and how to um, try to look for properties when I get my credit together. And he showed me like what he wanted to do with me and my kids as a family. So I'm like, shoot, this about to be my man. And I'm like, this is like a blessing. I'm like, dang, I didn't even think I could find a man that quick, but I found one. So it was good for like 3 or 4 weeks and everything. But then he started going ghost at night. And my anxiety started like at night when I knew that he would go ghost. I was like, yeah, he got another woman, man. Dang. But I'm gonna try to like be very Charles to it. And that's what I did. But it got to a point like after a week, I couldn't ignore it because he would be talk and then he go MIA, talk, then go MIA. And so I addressed it. I was like, look, what's going on? And I came to him and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, nah, I just be dealing with my mom and like she don't like people on the phone and stuff. I'm like, because he was saying that he just got out of marriage himself. So he moved back home, but he still had to take care of bills at his house with his his recently divorced wife because there's some court orders or something around that guidelines. And I was like, okay, but he treated me so good, so I didn't want to break away. And I remember that one day I woke up in the morning and I just felt so uncomfortable. And my daughter at the time, my oldest daughter, I think she was 6 years old or 7 years old, and she woke up and said, "Mom," in this in this story, I'm gonna call this man John Smith. She woke up and said, "Mom, John Smith is cool, but he ain't for you. God don't want you with him." And I was like, "Girl, what you know about who God want me to be with? I love him." And I tried to ignore it. But when I dropped off at school, I still was just like, it was in my head. It was on me hard. And I was like, dang God, what is this? So me and him was like, we're gonna link up to go to church on Sunday. So me and him went to church, and then after church, we was about to watch the football game. And he was like, all right, let's go get. I said, I'm kind of tired from the night before, and he was like, oh, let's go get some Red Bulls from Giants. I said, okay. So we go inside Giants, and we go into the aisle, and he was like, come on, let's go. I said, we ain't about to Red Bulls. He was like, come on, let's go. So when we got in the car, he was like this. I said, I know this man did not just go into the Giants and steal some Red Bulls. I thought he had money. What the heck? And I'm with him. And suppose we would have went down for some Red Bulls. It ain't even worth my it's not even worth my freedom. I said, this is crazy. So we watched the game, and at that time I just felt so uneasy. I said, Margaret, you want a man, but you can't be that daggone pressed. You can't be. And then I started thinking about my old relationship, how we just ended. And I'm like, this is crazy. So when he left my house that night from watching the game, my head started had all these thoughts in my head like, you failing, Margaret, you're doing this, you're doing that, and this. And I was like, Lord, I don't know how to combat these thoughts. So the next morning, I woke up, went to work, and I was like trying to play on it, like the thoughts were still in my head, and I kind of just started running, trying to play music, trying to uplift, like so I could play music and try to dance, and so I want to face reality, face these thoughts that's going on in my head. Something is not right, Margaret. You got to get yourself together. But I didn't want to. I was Ray Charles to it. I didn't want to hear it. I mean, I didn't want to confirm it. I didn't want to see it, and I daggone sure didn't want to hear it. So I was like, I'm just going to continue doing that. I'm doing what I'm doing. Tuesday came. I was on the phone. I had to, like, every time I get off the phone with one person, I get on the phone with another person, and I caught myself running. And I knew supposed to get my kids back on that Thursday. So that Wednesday, when I got home, I was like, Lord, I still was dealing with dude. And I and we were still talking. He's still going his little sabbaticals, leave, don't hear from him the next day. And I was like, Margaret, you deserve so much more than what this man is giving you. But I couldn't break it. To me, I felt like I was in a trance. I'm like, this man is handsome. He has this. Yeah, he stole from the Giants, but he said that why waste money when we don't have to spend money on certain things. And I was like, yeah, but next time, just tell me if you don't have it. He said, I have it. And he pulled out a wall of money. And when he did that, and I was like, oh, okay. But it still didn't justify what he did. So the next day, he was like, before I got my kids, I guess he wanted me to stunt on my kid's father or so. Or he asked me to switch cars with him because he wanted to get something done on my car. And he had this nice Beamer. So he let me drive his car. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm stunting, like, oh my God, I'm driving this Beamer. I had a Toyota Camry at the time. So I'm like, he can drive my little Toyota Camry. No downplaying to my Toyota Camry, but it was an older Toyota Camry. But Toyota Camry, we're going places. Didn't break down ever. Never was on the side of the road. So thank God for that. But anywho, he drove my car. Then the night when he came back, to swap cars. He came back with an attitude, and I was like, "Why you got an attitude?" He was like, "Oh, nothing. Here are your keys." I said, "Did you figure out if they're gonna fix the part on my bumper or not?" He was like, "I'm gonna get back with you on that." I said, "Okay." So I gave him the keys. I know, like 2 days later, I was at work and I got a call from my insurance company, and they was like, "Hey, we were calling you about the accident you was in 3 days ago." And I was like, what accident I was in. I was not in no accident. They said, yeah, someone got in an accident on such and such street. And I said, I know John Smith did not get in no accident in my car. And I wasn't thinking, that's what I thought. And I was like, no, he couldn't do nothing like that. He ain't even that type of person. So when I got off the phone, I was started crying. I was like, God, I'm being falsely accused. What is going on? Something is just not right. So I got on the phone with him and I was crying. He was like, well, you crying? Slow down, slow down. I said, did John Smith, did you get in an accident in my car? And he was like, I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how to tell you. I said, but you didn't think I was going to come back and tell me? Like, this wasn't going to come back? And he was like, no, I didn't. I mean, I was going to try to fix it. I said, how are you going to fix it if you gave him my insurance information? Why you didn't pay him off? And he was like, I said, I just talk to you later. And I hung up. So later on at night, he popped up at my house and he was just like, I'm sorry, this. And at that time, my kids was home. And I was like, it's okay. We'll talk. We'll pick up this conversation some other time. Go on about your business. So that night, I sat on my couch and I was like, you know what? I deserve so much more, Margaret. And I heard I'm brought up in the church. They was like, if if you tell Jesus about your trouble, he will answer you. And at that time, I was like, I didn't have nothing else to do. I sought counseling, talking to my friends, trying to get outlet. I ran from my issues by trying to turn up music. And I was so low, like I felt like I wanted to die. My heartbreak is one of the hardest things to get over. And I was like, Lord, and I was like, I felt so defeated when I thought that I was winning. So I end up sitting down on the couch and I end up praying. And I was like, God, I know you were real. I believe in you. But Lord, I need to see you. God, I needed you to wash me clean, wipe my mind clean, and cover me and take control of my life. And that's how far I got. I was like, God, I need you. And I sat on the floor and just rocked back and forth and cried. I think I cried for at least 3 or 4 hours, just cried, just asking God to help me. I need you. So the next day I felt better. My kids was acting well behaved. They wasn't fighting. So I was like, oh, that was a blessing. Thank God for the small wins. When them kids act right, that's a blessing. So I was like, I dropped them off and I was online. I was just zooming through things like how to clear your mind, how to get my mind together. Because if I don't have my mind together, I won't be able to give to my children. And I'm at the lowest state. So I ran past this pet some of my YouTube channel talking about fasting. And I was like, I heard of fasting, but do it really work? I thought fasting for losing weight. And at that time I was small. So I ain't needed to fast, lose no weight or anything. But I end up going on a 21-day fast. And while I was on the 21, first I was like going to do fruits and vegetables and drink water. But the first day I felt I didn't eat nothing or drink nothing the first day. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. And I felt like I was impromptu to do a fast for just drinking water for 21 days. So I did that. In the middle of it, I did do some inshore because I didn't want to lose too much weight to go look like a crackhead later. Like, oh my God, Mario came from this already been small, and then you like this. So I'm like, I gotta keep my weight up a little bit. And during that fast, I was shown so much stuff about myself. I was shown that I the root of it was abandonment from not knowing my dad, and like I was able to sit in my thoughts and I was able to gain so much wisdom from that 21-day fast. And like the respiration was so real. I felt at peace. I was able to let that dude go. And I was able just to focus on me and my kids and just, I was like, I was so at peace. I don't know how people feel. I mean, like, like when you high, that's how I felt. I felt like I was just floating. So I felt like I was delivered and I got saved and I got baptized. Fast forward now to this day, 2020, this year, 2025. After my divorce in 2022, I thought I knew everything. Like, I was good. I thought that I was healed from it because I thought I cried so much in my marriage that I was good when the marriage was gone, when it was over. And I said, this is my life. I'm going to live my life how I want to live it. And I was able to like master getting my PMP. I got a new job, elevate, 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 elevate. And I met a guy, and good guy. We date, we travel the world, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is it. And my baby father get the kids every other week. So I'm like, dang, this is good. I'm so blessed. I'm this and that. And like I would say my prayers with my children so we can have a great day to make sure my children are covered. But that's it. Nothing else. But because I put my future and my life was in my hands. During the furlough, I didn't lose a beat. I wasn't financially struggling or anything. Thank God I wasn't. But I hit that rock bottom mentally, the mental rock bottom again. And it got to a point where I had to get off of Instagram, Facebook, and I'm like, Lord, my mind, I'm so can't. My mind is like all over the place, and I'm like, I don't feel rest. I don't feel peace. And the Bible said, "What is it to a man to gain the world but lose his soul?" And I was like, that's me right now. That's how I'm feeling. Like I'm feeling like on paper, I'm that. I'm doing it up. But in my soul, mentally, I'm I'm that little girl that sat on that floor in 2027 asking God to save me from my thoughts. And I tried to do it again, like was always on the phone. And when I started looking at myself in the mirror, I became this woman that I got all this, but I lost Margaret, and it meant, if I make sense. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I have to do something about this. And what woke me up too was that the guy I'm dating, he's a very sweet guy, but me, I sang down trouble a little bit, but anyway, very sweet guy, very sweet guy. But the guy I was dating at the time, I mean, now still is, um, he was like, he feels that I take my anger that I have with my old relationships out on him. And I should be in anger management. And I was like, nobody ever said this. Because every time they talk to me, they're like, Mark, you're so a sweet person. And I'm saying, if I'm hurting a person, that's one of the person, and my children too, said I was even been mean to them. And I'm like, the people that matter the most to me around me, in my circle, in my home, something got to change, Margaret. Why are you like this? So I end up had to had to approach my feelings head on. And I had to go back to my roots. And I had to pull out the word of God. And I started praying, and I started fasting from little things. Get off of Instagram, get off of Facebook, get off of, stop talking to this person, stop doing this. Focus on you, focus on God. I stand by Matthew 6:33. Seek the kingdom of righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. And that I'm not even heartbroken or anything dealing with no abandonment issues. So I thought, because that came back in, because I'm like, I'm so scared. So I overthink things, I overanalyze things. And I end up going on a fast for like a couple of days with one of my best friend. And on that fast, God revealed so much to me about myself that I did not forgive my ex-husband for leaving. I didn't forgive myself. I put so much on me, like, and also that I have, I'm a manipulator. Like, I learned so much about myself that I had to like pray and ask God to deliver me from. You can't pray for something and try to kill it if you don't know what the root is. And I thank God for taking the scales off my eyes so I can be able to realize like this this ain't it. But I know with God, everything else will be it when I line myself up with God. So the reason why I want to share this story and this with you all, because mental health is everything. I mean, a lot. you can go to counselors. I tell people therapy, I support it. But worry about your soul. Our soul, like, need healing as well. And I don't want to be like a person that shove it in your throat. You need to fast, you need to pray, you need to do this and that. But you got to do something. You can't go inside 2026 with the same mindset, because what you're going to end up doing is being in the same situation and feeling the same way. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. Easy. I don't know if it's easy to read, but it's the RSV version. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. God peace protects your mind from the racing thoughts. So you don't have to face, oh, you're this, you're that, or this person not going to like you. Romans chapter 8, verse 6, NIV. The mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. When the Holy Spirit leads your thoughts and your mind is free, you're free. The Bible said, who the Son set free is free indeed. Psalms chapter 55, verse 22, CSB. Cast your burdens on the Lord, for he will sustain you. Release that heavy weight from your mind. Release it. So that's my video for the time for today. And I thank you for sitting through this little long video. I hope you enjoyed it. But you got this. We got this. We are in it together to win it. And know that God is ready for you. He want to hear you. He wants to help. He's sitting right next to you like, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Just put me in the game. I got you. I got you, my son. I got you, my daughter. I don't want you to do this alone. He's right there. And he got you. Yeah, go to counseling, eat right, exercise, do your affirmations. I'm for all that. But I also know that those things didn't create us. Those things didn't put us in the situation that we are in. Some of the stuff is self-affliction. Some things is life, because life be lifing. But we know who the source is. And if you don't know, I hope and pray that you get to know God, Jesus' dad, and be able to experience him in the way you never experienced any human, any drug, any relationship you ever had in your life. Because once you find it, once you find him, and you let him in and surrender and ask for wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and skills, and favor, and opportunity to your life is going to change phenomenal. Why be you when you could be the best version of you? Till next time. Peace, love, and all that good stuff. Thank y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Send it to a buddy or two. I'm trying to build this platform up. And I thank you till next time, and I really appreciate you. Subscribe.